People die every year because life-saving drugs are either ineffective or fake. According to WHO, an estimated 1 in 10 drugs sold in low and middle income countries are substandard or fake. The Indian pharmaceutical industry is one of the largest producers of generic drugs and vaccines in the world and must find a way to solve this problem. But how?
The loopholes lie in the drug supply chain. Stockists or dealers who may not check quality, or transporters who contaminate or substitute or mislabel drugs, or corrupt agents presenting false paperwork, or the manufacturers themselves. Fake drugs are putting patients at higher risk and costing the Indian pharma industry billions. To tackle this growing problem, Niti Aayog, along with Oracle, Apollo Hospitals, Apollo Pharmacy and Strides Pharma Sciences, are coming together to pilot a decentralized, secure and transparent system. This will trace and track the drug supply chain using new technologies like blockchain and IoT. To be used through a mobile app, Oracle Blockchain Cloud Service will create a record on the supply chain when a drug gets labeled with a serial number and is scanned for billing. From here on, the drug movement is recorded at every hand change. Even details like chemical ingredients, location and temperature of drugs will get tracked using Oracle IoT. Because the drug gets recorded on the blockchain, pharma companies will be able to share information across the drug supply chain securely. It becomes impossible for anyone to tamper with this information. Evidence can be produced to catch wrongdoers. Working towards elimination of fake drugs in India.
So how did you guys like it? Did any of you all here imagine we could do this? So practically everyone who goes to a pharmacy, it's going to be a little while from now where you can actually generally check the authenticity of the drug and pay for it and feel good that yes, whatever money you paid for is worth it. So in the next 12 minutes, my time is cut down from 20 to 12 minutes, so I'll just have to rush it. What we're going to talk about is the future proofing of emerging technologies. So if you see out here, there are a couple of things I would like to actually paraphrase, once again reiterate. There was a presentation from Oracle even yesterday where I want to touch about a couple of things which is very relevant. One thing that folks within the room would understand that we've been having these e-governance sessions for almost like 2 decades. What that also meant is you have spent enough of money, energy, resources on setting up platforms, network, hardware, software, whatnot. And like Mr. Golak was talking about it, people's expectations are so high. So yesterday we had a speaker who stood up here and said, it's a wonderful experience to walk into a passport seva kendra, but why do I need to walk there? So you understand the pressure which is coming up. So what I want to just do out here is the art of possible. The video you just saw is something that is actually going to be implemented. So I'll just recap, because this is something that most of the speakers today harped about. They all had a very common, a language spoke about, whether it's an IIS or a PAS or a SAS, and the most common element was data and how you have to move heaven and earth to protect that. What we did within Oracle, which is the only company in the planet today as we speak, which provides you autonomous database. It is easy to hear the word autonomous, but if you walk through the 3 building points of being a self-driving or self-securing or self-repairing, where people are investing a lot of stuff on managing it, we can take care of that totally for you. And it's 100% secure, because what my colleague Dev Priya spoke about yesterday, we just have a 2.5-minute downtime per month. We have 4 nights, and that's what we're talking about. So quickly to go back into the main theme, this is also part of our emerging technology, the autonomous technology. So in today's 10 minutes, I'm just going to briefly talk about Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and blockchain. And don't be surprised, each of them are intertwined. There's nothing that you can work in isolation to another. It is so wonderful to see how even Passport Server is talking about blockchain, and practically everybody is talking about blockchain and IoT. I was just talking to the DG of EarnNet yesterday. I was asking her, what would you propose for us in Northeast? She says, can you provide me IoT with drone to help transport blood packets to the remotest part of the country? That is amazing to hear. What I'm just trying to picture out here for you folks, you could be a state government or a central government or an industry or a vertical. Just take those blocks on top and just mirror it to your processes. We make it very simple. From Oracle, we have close to 8 of us here just to spend 15, 20 minutes to you to call out what information you think you would like to look at it 2 years from now, 3 years from now, or 6 months from now, and see how you can do it. So I'm going to quickly walk you through a journey where it involves 5 or 6 actors, right? And how we ingest IoT blockchain and some of the hidden truth which comes out after you've done that. What you see out here is a technology or a process which is in vogue for the last 30 years, right? So what we're trying to tell you out here is you don't have to forklift whatever process you're doing. Please continue with whatever you're doing. All that we do from an Oracle is we step into your office, we study the as-is process, and we recommend it to you in 3 working days what is the best ideal situation for you to go forward. What you see out here is multiple people working, and these guys are not educated people. These guys could be as simple as a coolie whose only job is to carry a sack and put it in a rail rack or a vehicle. But what we do is we don't put technology on the face. It works silently in the background. All that we do is how do I use elements of IoT to track anything which moves from a manufacturer to a last mile. Looks too simple, but the fact is, yes, it is. We also have studied, okay, when you're talking about inter-ministerial dependencies. So Mr. Golak also spoke about how today, if I was not mistaken, anything which happens in the Ministry of External Affairs does seep into an MCA or the other government functionaries. So here, we might have players from railways, from truckers, and whatnot. So without disturbing their own processes, without invading into their space, we implant the IoT devices and the other processes and say, how do I track and trace during a transit? What I'm talking about here could be applicable to anything, be it organic food or anything as critical as something which touches a citizen's life. This could be a farmer for all we know. So all you're saying is, if you're talking about a farmer who needs to go to a last mile, we're saying right from the manufacturer to the middle agent to a wholesaler to retailer, we just map it. The video you saw from the farmer, which we just spoke about, that does the same thing. And what helps us here within Oracle is the scheme of things. These are all the hidden things which comes out when you're talking about analytics and the insights. So I won't be surprised if Mr. Golak simply, who said, yes, I've got everything under my control, but then finally he'll say, hey, there's a positive development which also happened. You're talking about tweets, and I said that the Honorable Minister who just passed away, my God, the response time to a tweet was wonderful to read. I still remember she said, yeah, now we can also go to Mars, right, if you have a problem. Now, with that humility, with a sense of humor and all that, all we're saying is here, today, sitting wherever you are, though you're spending 3 days here with us in Jaipur, sir, rest assured, there are technology available which allows you to do what you can. Tomorrow, same time, we would also have a gentleman from Niti Aayog who is going to talk about 113 districts. It's called the aspirational districts. What do they do? How do I take these most backward districts and bring them up? What they did was they had measured some parameters, and to allow a district magistrate or district collector, whenever he's visiting that place, can I get these things real time, what's happening, so that the response time is better, he knows who to call for a resolution. And we power that, okay? This particular dashboard, it looks simple to you, but We didn't do any rocket science behind it. All the data which is being pumped in by my IoT and a blockchain allows you to dynamically create these custom dashboards for you. Within a single application, you can just cull it out. And it's not like a fixed schema or something. And the most amazing thing today, about the next 5 years or next 10 years, what you guys are going to see, is certain departments taking a call to say, can I lead? So when a particular department leads in, let's say, in innovation, there are other people who are actually connected also in a grow-up. So things like an executive dashboard, which is relevant to one ministry, is also sucked in by another ministry. So Ministry of Fertilizer would also love to see how a Ministry of Agriculture works. Why? Because they address the same 14, 15 crore farmers. So you see the dot there. Even when I started my journey with Passport Saver project way back in 2009 in the design phase, we just factored it for 40 lakh passports. Today, I think you've broken it 5 times or more, and it's only going to grow, right? So we're making it look very simple to you because it's as simple as that. I liked what you just spoke about, what's next. Imagine we have the AI and ML, which powers, knowing that you already have 10 years plus data with you, and if I am, thank God I'm not a criminal, but if I apply for a passport, I should be able to go through my app. I said, okay, you already have my data. I have not changed my residence. I have not done anything different, right? Help me. So instead of me waiting for 3 days, I could even get it the second day or the next hour. Okay, this is your soft copy. However, please come and pick it up. You could do that. Believe me, that's going to drive your customers. Now we're talking about delighted customers. This is a little bit more about what Niti Yoga and Oracle is doing. Just for the sake of the audience, from the videos part and the thing, without partners, it wouldn't happen. So we are so lucky to have customers embrace Oracle technology. We did a pilot with Strides, who's a manufacturer of drugs, with Kemed, who's a distributor, and Apollo Pharmacies, who's got about 3,000, 4,000 pharmacies. Why I'm saying this is just one entity. How many do we have in India? We have 7 lakh pharmacies in the country. We have 77,000 distributors, and we have about 350 large pharmacies, and about 20,000 smaller ones. So we have taken a vertical slice and did it end-to-end. And like what Golaksa was talking about, we actually went back to the stakeholders and said, what is your key success criteria? What is your objective? So we worked backwards. The backward thing is, hey, listen, we don't give a damn whether it's Apollo or anything. You as a citizen, I should be having a mobile phone, be it a smartphone or a feature phone. Yesterday, I believe somebody asked the audience, how many of you have a feature phone? None of you guys had a feature phone. But what we are trying to do out here within Oracle is just not the smartphone, even the feature phone person, an individual goes to buy or procure a medicine. The last mile, he just scans it or puts it across, he's good to go. We've taken care of all the back-end stuff. And this is how we did, just to give you a snapshot. It wasn't easy for us. It took us about 8 months to do the whole journey, right from Bangalore and Hyderabad and Delhi and all that stuff. Ultimately, the last thing is, yes, there's a green tick mark which says it's genuine and all that stuff. So I just shared with you an example how pharma. I also shared an example how a manufacturer of fertilizer or anything could happen. And this is also land records. Why? Because it's a state subject. So even within land records, within a state subject, today, God forbid you guys, when you go there to say, you're not sure, okay, is it the right property I'm buying? I mean, is it the property, does it have any other encumbrance, right? That's where we're going to help out also. So we're working with MIT, NEGD, actually, where we're helping them create this blueprint for them, which is for all the states to consume. So we are here for the rest of the day and tomorrow. Feel free. We are ready to go with all the 4 or 5 emerging technologies we spoke about. Thank you.
Increased health and beauty consciousness globally make honey a blockbuster product. It enriches the pharma industry with its antibiotic, antiseptic properties and health values. More than 2 to 3 lakhs beekeepers across India produced 105,000 metric tons in the year 2017-18, of which 50% is exported annually, with high-value products like beeswax, propolis, royal jelly, Beenum and others. With year-on-year growth of 10%, it's a huge employment and income generation source. How does that help us? We are still selling at Rs 100 a kg, while most of the produce sells for more than double the price by 30 big players controlling 80% of the Indian market share, labelled, packed and sourced in ways beyond our means. DOA, NBB, APIDA, Export Council have come together to revolutionize the entire beekeeping process and change things for us. Using Oracle Cloud to maintain quality, record, monitor all touch points between the beekeeper and the consumer. The beekeeper starts with a simple registration, securing a unique ID, deposits the honey with the aggregator who puts it in his system. Exporters collect the honey in batches with batch ID. They may initiate quality check with regulatory agencies like FSSAI, APIDA, Export Inspection Council, and would just capture the quality check status. Once the wholesaler or retailer receives it, he takes a batch or part of the batch to generate a QR code on package. The consumer can scan the QR from mobile and trace its source. Beekeepers get to produce more, waste less, price fairly, and get a better bargain from the industrialists. Access volume monitoring of bee colonies migrating from one place to another. Leverage market identification for the produce consumption. Track and minimize wastage. Make honey branding by providing QR code for lychee honey integrating with UID of farmer area wise. With checking and monitoring the quality of honey at the processing level, the consumer can trace the product, the process, and the producer transparently, helping him build trust to do more business. Keep a track of quality honey if farmer is feeding medicines to produce more honey. The seamless process of capturing data by all stakeholders into a common system is a win-win for all. Let's get registered and reap these benefits.